welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my makeup inventory and collection on all of my concealers here. There are quite a few because there were a lot of concealers that have released in the past few months, past 10 months, past year, I don't know, I lost track. But in today's video, I'll be going over all of my concealers. There might be a few declutters here and there. I can't promise anything. I'm not going to, put too much pressure on myself to declutter. Like I've said in past videos, I've done pretty big declutters in the past. I will link those playlists down below if you're interested in more of a declutter. But I feel manageable with my collection right now, so I'm not gonna force myself to declutter if I don't want to. I will be doing swatches of everything, so I hope you're here for that. But without any further ado, if you like makeup videos, collection videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet, but I feel like we should just get started. So let's do that. This is my drawer of concealers. These are all opened, and then this is unopened. So first, I want to start with the ones that I have up on my desk because I do have a little acrylic drawer of things that I use just day to day that are maybe in projects. So this is my, gotta swatch things, my Benefit Boing Brightening Concealer. I have the shade 2. This is in my project pan, which again will be linked down below. And it's more of a color corrector. It's very peachy, so I'm trying to finish this up before I get to my other color correctors. I have my NARS Soft Matte Concealer in Vanilla. Making progress on this. It's a little bit, well, it fits me now in winter, but in summer, it's just a little too light for me. It's not manageable, so I've been using it as an eye primer for now. And then this Catrice Liquid Camouflage in 005 Light Natural. This is in my project pan. I'm hoping to be finished with this pretty soon here, but it's a little yellow. I do really like this concealer though. I was here when I brought it in and I wanted to just finish it up because I like it so much. So I'm almost done with this. And then the concealer in Shop My Stash right now is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Bright Fix. Yes, their first concealer in 04. And I brought it in since Fenty came out with her newer concealer and I didn't want to buy that. So I brought this in to kind of remind me. And this is a really nice concealer. It's definitely brightening. So here's what that looks like. Now that we've gone over those, I'm only going to swatch my opened ones because I keep these unopened just so they stay sealed up. But let's just get started. If I have any videos on these, I will link them down below. A lot of these, I did like a roundup of 28 concealers where I went really in depth. So check that video out if you are looking for concealer recommendations. Let's first start with this RMS. What is this? The Uncover. This is in shade 11. This is going to be next to my project pan because it is just getting there in age. I don't even know if it'll last until my project pan, to be quite honest. It still smells okay, but I can just tell it's kind of drying out. It's a really nice concealer though. I wish I'd given it more love than I did. Then we have the Shiseido Synchro Skin in, what shade is this? I'm not sure because it is 102 Fair. I actually don't really like this concealer at all. I'm gonna declutter it. It's a nice shade, but I just did not like this on the eyes. So I think I'm gonna declutter that one. The Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte and 1CO Silk. It is hard to find your shade with this Tom Ford stick, I'll tell you that, because this is the only Tom Ford complexion product I've tried. Here's a swatch of it. It's a decent shade match for me. I don't remember there being a lot of shades in this stick concealer, so I think I picked out the best one, but I do prefer like a little bit more of a brightening concealer, and it's more my skin tone. Givenchy Prism Libre Skin Caring Concealer. I have the shade C105. Cannot stop raving about this concealer. It is like top 3 concealers for me. I absolutely love it. If you like hydrating thin concealers, this is that. It feels so good on the under eyes. It's not going to give you coverage. It is just not. I do prefer a concealer with coverage, but I make an exception for this because it just looks, your eyes just look so much healthier when you're wearing this concealer. I love it. Natasha Denona, I have the shade N2. And I do really like this. I mean, complete opposite of the Givenchy. And you can see it's a lot darker than C105 I think I have in this. Still an okay shade, not a brightening shade for me, but it works. The Valentino, what is this called? I'm not sure. The Very Valentino Concealer, and I have the shade LIGR2. I think that's Light Rosa 2 is what it's supposed to be. Really decent concealer. I actually really liked this until I tried other concealers. It does not beat out the Givenchy. Like, that is my luxury concealer of choice if you were to ask me. It's okay. There's other things from Valentino that I prefer. Like, if I was going to recommend a Valentino product, it would be the foundation, like, hands down. I have a mini of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is light 2.5 Cafe Con Leche. I've gone through multiples of this concealer in the full size. I usually got the shade Vanilla, which is why I got the potted one in Vanilla. But for some reason, like, I don't think that the shades match up in the potted versus the creamy radiant, which is why I picked up a shade higher, because I was like, okay, maybe I was just in that really brightening under eye phase that everyone was in like 2016, 2018. My concealer was just too light, so I went up a shade, but I do think that this is too dark, so I kind of mix it in. 2 more minis from Tarte. Both of these are the creaseless concealer, and I don't know why the shapes are different, and I don't know why the shades are different, because I have light in this one, and then this is 20N. Usually in the Tarte, I will swatch both of them because I've opened both of them. Usually in the Tarte foundations, I wear 22N. So this is 20N in the concealer. I wear 22N in the foundation. And then this is light. So it is a little bit darker than 20N. I don't know which one's the newer one and which one's the lighter one. This is a decent concealer. Definitely thick and definitely not for everyone, but I don't hate this concealer, and I will use up both of them. I don't know if I'd repurchase it because clearly, like, I don't need to, but it's an okay one. And then let's just swatch this last mini here. This is the Hourglass Vanish in Linen Cotton. I like this too. I honestly like minis a lot, especially for complexion, because they're my favorite thing to try. So even though cost per use is higher, I like being able to try the different formulas. So that's what Cotton looks like. A little bit yellow than I would prefer, but it's okay. It's a full coverage, not my favorite full coverage. I'm glad I have a mini in it. Next up, I have this Lancome Tinty Doll Ultra Wear in Ivory. I have it in it's either Ivory or IVO. I'm not sure, but it's way too light for me. This is a really, really light foundation. Also very, very full coverage. So that's part of the problem too, is you can't really like sheer it out. One of my most full coverage concealers for sure. The Giorgio Armani Power Fabric. Got this on the recommendation of Mel Thompson. This is the shade 3. Really nice foundation. I had it in a Shop My Stash not too long ago. Concealer, nice concealer. And this is like a good medium coverage. It gives you that coverage without being creasy. It definitely has a little bit more thickness to it, a little bit more grip. So if you're too heavy with the powder, I think it'll look a little bit cakey. It doesn't have like that really thin consistency to it, but like it a lot. The Flower Beauty is one of my also like top 5 concealers. I love this concealer. I think I ranked it #1 in that concealer ranking I did. And this is just like a good, I'd repurchase this. Like this is just a good staple everyday concealer. The price point's great. It has nothing special about it, but it doesn't have any cons also. So that's why I just say it's like the perfect everyday of just like a good basic concealer. And there's not a lot to say about it. The Gucci, what is this? The Concentré de Beauté. I have it in 17W. Not a bad concealer. Component is very pretty. But I've tried some other luxury concealers. They're not in here because they're still my speed reviews drawer that I just like better than this, that I would recommend over it. And it's just decent, you know, like, I don't know. It's like the Flower Beauty, but at least the Flower Beauty is affordable. This one you cannot set down. It's one of my only concealers that if you set it, it looks absolutely terrible. It's a very soft matte finish, so it just looks, it looks bad if you put powder on it. And I do like to set my under eyes. I don't know what happened to my lighting. It's like it changed or something. I'll try and fix that, but that's what we're working with so far. The Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Brightening Concealer in Fair Vanilla. I have the Complexion Rescue Foundation, which I love that foundation. It's a little bit dark for me. I hate that it doesn't really have like a pinpoint squeezy tube or anything. But this is a good concealer. The foundation's better. They kind of just rode on the coattails of that foundation. It's okay, but you know, compared to the Flower Beauty, you just can't beat it. Like this one is so good. And there's just nothing special that makes me want to really repurchase this. This Huda Beauty. This is the Glowish Sheer, what is this? What do they call this? Bright Light Sheer Foundation Concealer. I don't know. It's terrible. I hate this. I hate this so much. Definitely like worst concealer purchase of 2023. It has, I mean, they said sheer, they meant sheer. And like, I shouldn't be surprised, but it does nothing. And they wanted this to be like a no makeup, but it just missed the mark. It should have been bigger if they wanted people to use this as kind of like a concealer on no makeup days. This is the shade 01 Fair, by the way. The problem is like, you're gonna need 2 different concealer colors on your face versus under your eyes if you're like me. And so I got Fair. It doesn't work on my face. It's too light, but it looks terrible under my eyes because it gives literally 0 coverage. So I wouldn't even wear it on a no makeup day. Like I'd rather just not wear any makeup. This is pointless to me. I am gonna declutter this because I don't see myself reaching for it. I would kind of use this to highlight points of my face if I needed to, but I don't see why I should keep this around. I have way too many to even like try to make that work. Okay. Dominique Cosmetics, this is the shade Vanilla Cream. This has like that metal tip applicator, which I want to love, but it just makes it hard. You can even see, it just makes it hard to put product on. It doesn't hold the product. So, you know, it's cooling on the eyes, but you have to dip in a ton to just get product off. And it is a little bit of a thicker consistency. I don't love it, not for the coverage that it gives. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it enough to declutter it. The Kosas Revealer Concealer, I've used quite a bit of this. I have the shade 03W. This is one of the only Kosas products I still have. I'm not really like the best, I'm not the biggest fan of Kosas. I think their stuff like just goes off too fast. A little bit yellow. I mean, it is warm. I should know. But, you know, I want to finish this up. hopefully before it expires, and get rid of it after that. I won't repurchase it. Milani Conceal and Perfect in 125. This was a surprising find for me. I actually really enjoy this concealer. I forget about it a lot. It's one of the ones like I just don't remember to reach for, but it's a nice concealer. It does cover, it has really great coverage. It looks fine with powder. No complaints about this concealer whatsoever. It's a staple one. Definitely like more coverage than the Flower Beauty. So, you know, right now I've been raving about those two plus the Givenchy. Like, Flower Beauty is a good medium. This is a good light. And then this is a good full. If you kind of, I mean, these two are drugstore. Do I have like a good drugstore option for a light coverage? Not really. Oh, sorry. These are kind of like my top 3 running so far. Then I have the J-Cat Stay Assurance Ultra Full Coverage. I have the shade Buff. Similar to the Lancome Tinty Dole in coverage, like this is one of my most full coverage concealers. Really nice. I do, you know, I think I like this better than the Lancome. Only, you know, the shade is better for me, but it just is more smoothing under the eye than the Lancome, and the Lancome can look, it looks full coverage, where this is full coverage but doesn't necessarily look full coverage. You know what I'm trying to say? So I do like the J-Cat, I think, more than the Lancome if I was to recommend one. Next up, we have the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. Do we remember when this was really popular? This is the shade 2. Nice light to medium coverage concealer, and very, as you can see, very like serum-like. Kind of the only one. I'm gonna kind of blend this down. It's gonna be a heavy swatch. Kind of the only concealer I have with this kind of consistency. More serum-y like. Doesn't look shiny under the eyes because I do set it with powder, but if you like a very kind of hydrated, almost wet looking concealer, if you have very, very dry under eyes, you might like this. I don't know, but it's an okay one. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. This is the shade 160, at least in European. I think they have different types, but this is the pink one. I've actually gone through 2 full sizes of this concealer before, and I really do like it. Not the pink version. I believe I went through the neutralizer shade. I think that's the shade I used to get before. But I wanted the pink one because I don't have like a pink concealer. So this fits the bill. It's perfect. I like it a lot. This is, I mean, I've repurchased this multiple times before I had such a large collection, so I would recommend this. We already know the deal with the applicator, like it's trash, but the product is so good you can't, you keep repurchasing it anyways. The IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Dark Spots Corrector and Serum. I have the shade Light Neutral 22. This is a good, decent concealer if you're just looking for like a mid-range concealer. Supposed to have skincare benefits to help with dark spots over time. I don't know about that, but I said this in my review of this concealer that I just feel like they added a bunch of gimmicks, like this, you know, kind of sponge brush thing here to hype up this concealer more than it needed to be. Like, this is a solid product already, and they just added like a bunch of bells and whistles, and it made it almost too much. Like, it took away from how good this formula is, and I almost overlooked it because I was like, I'm never going to use this brush thing. It's a waste. However, like, decent concealer. Still, you know, like over the Flower Beauty. I'm comparing it to the Flower Beauty mostly, just so you know, because it's like a medium coverage. I'm trying to keep coverage with coverage. Like, I still recommend the Flower Beauty over the IT Cosmetics if you're looking for an everyday good, just middle of the road concealer. The Dior Backstage, I have the shade 2N. You can see that I've used quite a bit of this. I really want to get the Dior Forever, kind of like a cool brush applicator in here. It's different. I don't hate it. It at least it's functional. 2N is what I wear in the foundations for Dior. So this is one that kind of matches my skin tone if I don't want something that's brightening. I'll use this up eventually, and I plan on buying the Forever one afterwards, only because I've heard that that one's better than this one. The Ole Henriksen, this is like the Banana Bright Vitamin C stick or something. This is more of a color corrector, and I have the shade Banana. This is a color corrector kind of serum stick, but I keep it with my concealers. And once I finish my Benefit, I'll probably get to this one. You can see like it is brightening. I really need to fix my lights, but I'm going to do it after this video. I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not too annoying to make you click off. It's nice, like nothing bad to say about it. I do like that it's in stick form versus the Benefit that's in pot form. But I just haven't gotten around to using it up after I did kind of like my roundup on it. Two more that are opened, the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin in 4 Fair. Again, like in the Flower Beauty realm, like middle of the road, not too much coverage, less coverage than Natasha Denona. And it's okay. I like this. I actually used to really, really like this before I tried some other concealers. However, it just kept getting knocked down. And I have nothing bad to say about it, but it just isn't one that I just remember to use. And other ones kind of just like get dethroned it. So I'm nothing more to say about it. This is like top 3 concealer. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I have the shade 2.7N Coconut Flakes. I do want to get like a lighter shade of this. This is kind of like my shade. It's not really like super brightening. Love this concealer. Seriously, I've talked so much about this concealer. It is so full coverage. This is my #1 full coverage concealer. I absolutely love it. It looks so nice under the skin. It looks hydrating without looking radiant. And I hate like those light reflecting under the eye when it looks light reflecting, almost glittery. This does look like a luminous matte, and I really, really like it. I always love how my under eyes look after using this concealer. So this is like my top full coverage. Then the Givenchy is like my top light coverage, and the Flower Beauty is my top just mid coverage. I think those are my top 3. If like back was against a wall, I could only keep 3. These would be the 3 that I would keep. I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah, these would be the 3 that I would keep for every day. Now that we've done all of my opened concealers, let's just quickly breeze through my unopened. Please let me know like down below if there's any of these you want me to prioritize as far as like maybe doing a review on, because they somehow, I don't know, I have trouble like getting through these and incorporating them into my collection. It's hard to keep a balance of trying new things while also finishing up products, because I'm trying to get better on finishing things up. But we have the Maybelline Superstay. I have the shade Light 15. I believe they've changed the packaging since this. This has like a doe foot similar to the Flower Beauty. I have a mini of the Tarte C Power Flex concealer. Not high hopes for this because I hated the foundation like with my heart and soul. These are newer to me. I have the L'Oreal True Match in C2. This didn't come out that long ago. And then the Revlon Flex Wear Full Cover in, what shade are you? This is in the shade Vanilla. I was going to do like a battle of the concealers, and because these are both like new drugstore concealers, and see which one was better. Let me know if that's a video that sounds interesting to you. Then I have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in, what is this? Probably light. 15 light. I've actually gone through an entire one of these Maybelline Fit Me's, which is why I have a backup. I have a backup of the NARS Soft Matte. This is in light 2.3 Madeline, so a step up from the vanilla since the vanilla was so light. But I want to finish the vanilla before I open this. I have the Wet n Wild Mega Lust Incognito in light beige. interested to see like how this is against the Milani. I have the e.l.f. Sheer Blurring Under Eye Primer. This is just a color corrector that I'm trying to wait until I get through my color corrector before I open it. Also have the Bobbi Brown corrector in Light Peach. I've heard amazing things about this and I can't wait to try it. Some minis. I have the Pure 4-in-1 Sculpting Concealer in MN3. For sure got this for free because I would never pick this. Don't know what I'm going to do with this, but it's there for now. And then the Benefit Cakeless Concealer, the Boing in shade 4. This might be too dark for me as well, but I for sure got this for free. But look how cute it is. Like, that's freaking adorable. All right. What else do I have? I have the Cover FX Power Play Concealer in Neutral Light 1. I really liked the Power Play foundation. I've decluttered that since I've had it, but it was a really nice foundation. Really liked it. The e.l.f. concealer in white. I also have the blue on my desk. I didn't pull that down, sorry, but I do also have the blue. Then the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape in 22N Light Neutral. Excited for this, just have too many open concealers to get into this just yet. As well as the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in Light Ivory. I never tried the original, but the hydrating one kind of interested me. A few from Estee Lauder because I love Estee Lauder concealers. I've also gone through 1 or 2 Estee Lauder like full sizes. I've actually gone through the Double Wear Radiant Concealer. So I bought a replacement once I went through it in the shade 2N. I probably should have gotten 1N, but there was a time in my life where I was very, very tan when I used to live on an island. So I started buying shades that are now too dark for me. And then they have the Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. And then I think this came out after. And I was like, well, I've liked the other one so much that I'll just buy it. And then I never cracked into it. A few from Kiko. I have the Universal Stick Concealer in 02. And the Full Coverage Concealer in 02. This is like a potted concealer. I made like a big order from Kiko a little while ago. They were doing like buy 3, get 3 free. And I just picked up some products that looked interesting. I don't know why. Like I kept these around. I've decluttered some of the other ones since they were unopened. But I don't have like a lot of sticks or a lot of potted concealers. So I ended up keeping these ones just to see what they were all about. The Makeup Forever Ultra HD in 12. They've now come out with a new one of this. So I'm way behind, way behind. Hopefully it's okay once I open it, but that is my old life. I no longer do things like that. CoverGirl Simply Ageless. This isn't actually that old in my collection. This is 305 Ivory. Really love the CoverGirl Simply Ageless line, so I'm excited to try out this concealer. And the last one I have is the Glossier Stretch Concealer in Light 10, I think. Heard good things, excited to try this, but just haven't gotten around to it. So those are all of my concealers, opened and unopened. Like I said, let me know down below if there are any that you want me to prioritize that look interesting to you, because I'll definitely do that. Just gonna I'm really thinking of doing a battle against these 2 ones. But that is going to complete this video. Should I do a little speed up of me putting these all away, like some ASMR? I guess I probably should. Okay, hold for that. Okay, so here's my concealer drawer. I did declutter to the Shiseido and the Huda Beauty, so those are going to leave my collection. Not that great of a declutter, but like I said, I'm pretty happy with where my collection is. It may seem large to some people. I know that it's more concealer than I physically actually need, but I'm happy with it and I don't feel overwhelmed. That's the main thing that I look for. I've done, I think, some pretty good inner work on just my hoarding situation, and right now I'm just focusing on getting some of these out. You know, I know I can get the Dior out, the Catrice one out, and I'm fairly positive I can work on some of the rest of these and eventually get like a more manageable collection, but all of these I like or I want to try. So feeling good, but this is going to conclude today's kind of makeup inventory collection video. Hopefully you liked it. Like I said, give it a thumbs up if you did. It always helps me out. And leave me a comment on just what your favorite top 3 foundations are, if we're the same, and what we like, because I feel like concealer's almost like even a little bit more specific than foundations. Like it can really make or break your makeup if your concealer just looks off. So let me know your favorites down below, but this is where I'm gonna leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.